okay. I'm still so eager to start. I clicked before before I could see certain things. Oh my goodness. But anyway, while I'm still pulling stuff up, let me know if you can see and hear me. And there we go, finally. Oh my goodness. This is going to be a live stream where I heal 131 people in 13 countries. It's the second in the set of 3 healings, called the June triplet set of 2024. And then after that, later this month, starting on the 3rd Sunday, so that is the 16th and the 18th this month, will be the June twin set, 2 healings, and all those 5 together all have the same theme of traditional Chinese medicine meridians, which doesn't mean you have to learn all the meridians. It just we're doing more healing than we normally would on the minor chakras within those meridians. I call them minor. Minor is a weird word. They're just smaller than the major chakras, the 7 along your spine, but they're really important and cool. So it's time to give extra love to them. All your acupuncture points. So it would be good to get some validation on if people can see and hear me okay. Lorenzo, can you see and hear me okay? My husband assistant is giving me the feedback. So I will just keep talking as if you guys can hear me properly. We'll see. Thank you. All right, good. So the Friday healing, we did some big things with the meridians and with we helped clear intergenerational baggage. I was using the phrase generational baggage, but I really meant intergenerational baggage. I looked up the definition of intergenerational, and that much more fits what I meant to convey. So sorry about that. I fixed it later in the chapter titles. But anyway, so intergenerational baggage, where, baggage that was handed down by your mother's mother, by your mother to you, or, your mother's side of the family, any of those relatives down to your mother, down to you. And same thing with your father's side of the family, like say your father's father's father to your father's father to your father to you. There we cleared as much as was healthy and gentle to do with that. And I think that nobody cleared too much of it with that. And also we did GV CV work. Those 2 extraordinary meridians that help your 12 regular meridians. GV governing vessel meridian helps the yang meridians, and CV conception vessel meridian helps the yin meridians. And so the angels, like way back when I started playing with energy healing with meridians, they had me focus on those 2 meridians the most, just because I guess it's just like a one-stop shop. If you want to help a whole bunch of meridians at once, you just work those 2 because of their role supporting meridians. But anyway, we did some of that work 2 days ago, and I don't think anyone cleared too much, but I feel like now people need to be comforted. They need like a hug, kind of a healing, a clean hug, not a hug from me, you know what I mean? But like that feeling of like comfort and safety and uplifting, because I think that when you do fix some flow issues that you have, you begin to feel stuff that's always been there, but is not great to feel. And so we're going to systematically find some of the energy blocks that now are more at the forefront that weren't before that are unpleasant, you know, just so people can like de-stress. So if I had one phrase for today's healing, it'll be de-stress. It's like a de-stress healing. We are going to, as far as the meridians, I want to play extra with GV and CV meridians and how they generate energy and sort of liberating some of the chakras within GV, minor chakras within GV and CV meridians. So we will do more of that. But I'm going to be more mindful of the overall effect of this one because I want this one to just really be like helpful for the mind, you know, and the emotions, and just so you feel like good on a deep level after this heal. So I'm excited. Hope you like it. This mic, like I always keep it really close to me because I want to be able to, you know, go down here and comb out grounding without getting the microphone in the way. But I hope it's not too close. But anyway. So looking at comments, hey, yes, can see and hear you. Thank you so much. Miss you, Janet. Hello to you. Always welcome. Good to see you. Can see and hear you in Evergreen, Colorado. Sunny and 77. Yeah, we'll probably get up to that. I don't think we're there yet. No, we won't get that high, but I think tomorrow we're supposed to get to like 75. But I don't really like it to be super warm. I prefer, like, yesterday was 71. That was like perfect gardening weather. So if it could be 71 like every day for the next 4 months, that would be that would be great. Mike is fine. Oh, good. You guys are so helpful. So yeah, so that's pretty much what I wanted to introduce about that. Two, I think I want to clear obsessions and fixations with the healing today. Because I was just reading somebody's survey and the angels keep reminding me of it, and it's like she's having a problem with a neighbor, but it's not really what she thinks it is. Like she thinks it's something the neighbor's doing that's really impacting her in a negative way, but it's not. It's like just triggering some past life trauma that she had that was like real giant problem and giant conflict. And this is just, it's like putting her into a flashback about past life trauma. So the present situation really is not an issue. It wouldn't be an issue if she didn't have the past life trauma that's uncleared. So but since she does, it's causing her to obsess and fixate on a situation with a neighbor that is not actually impacting her in the way she thinks. So the angels are reminding me of it because it's like everyone has that to some degree, obviously, hopefully much less, but you know, you can have even subconscious fixations and obsessions that just keep you from positive change, distract you a lot of times. So I'll work that into as part of the de-stressing, you know, because obviously if you're obsessing on something negative, it's kind of stressful. We don't want that, right? Oh, hi from Chicago. I'm gardening today. Good for you. Oh, yes. Okay, gardening update. I'll put it up front because why not? And it's quick anyway. Okay, quick gardening update is I planted, I know it's kind of late, but whatever. Maybe every year I'll be late putting tomatoes in the ground. Part of it's our weather though. But anyway, I have all sorts of really happy tomato plants that are waiting to be in the ground, and they're on my back porch now. They're all hardened off, you know, adjusted to the outdoor sunlight and everything. And but I put 2 in the ground, a pair of them on this giant trellis yesterday. So I have 2 in the ground finally. And I put all such a cool stuff in the hole with them, and you know, very elaborate. And you know, maybe I'll elaborate on that at the end on the planting hole and all that went in, but that's kind of TMI probably. But anyway, so I did a good job with it. 2 of them are in the ground, so onward to more greatness. But that's, for me, a lot of times, you know, if I just get started on it, then there's this momentum with it. Whereas if I haven't done it at all yet, it's just like this very, it's a little stressful. So now I'm on the road to success with tomato planting. So that's my gardening update. The short version. So now I will just do 3 or so minutes of quiet, finalize prep, say hello on a spirit level to the 131 people, yada yada. Towards the end of that quiet, I'll start the healing. So you'll see me go like that. That's how you know I started. And then I'll start talking shortly after that. And so most of the time when I'm healing, I narrate what I'm doing. So you could use it as a walkthrough if you wish. But if you don't, as I said 2 days ago, if you only want to do like a section of the healing on yourself, you know, cut yourself some slack, use your intuition. You know, this will be a very thorough healing, and you could use it on yourself no matter what level you are, even if you're a beginner. I think that would be fine. But if you just want to dabble and do certain sections, within a day there will be chapter titles right at the bottom of the video, and then if you click on one, you'll see all the chapters, and you can click around to different parts of the healing if you wish. Okay, so my 3 minutes of quiet never starts out quiet. Okie doke. So let's do grounding. Just recreate your connection to the core of the earth. You have 2 groundings, one for your physical body energy system and one for your astral body energy system, which is you as a spirit. So just recreate both groundings, make them red or orange or yellow, both the same color. And have them stay wide all the way down to the core of the earth. Have them as wide as your auras. And you can make a copy out in front of you of what you're healing. So like a mini version of you. So all the auras, 17 auras, physical body, astral bodies inside there, and both your groundings connecting you to the core of the earth. And bring your groundings up high as your 3rd chakra, which is where your sternum bone ends. So bring your groundings up that high. And combing through is done with gold light from your hands. You have a big hand chakra in the palm of each hand and a fingertip chakra in each fingertip. Even if you didn't know you have them and they're there. And they can, once you unclog them, I guess I'll give people a hand healing too. Grounding and hand healing. So you can heal your own hands just like this. It's like you're washing your hands with gold light and you want to unclog. There are all these energy centers, even in every joint. You have a little chakra, little energy center. So you can just wash them all out and heal them and unblock them, repair them. And so I'll give people a hand healing. And you can have junk around your hands, so you could just like comb through, like put your fingers like through the energy of your, of your arm and your wrist and your fingers, everything, and just drag out the junk and ball it up. Give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. So comb through your wrists and your fingers. Angels, here you go. Comb through, get the junk. Angels, here you go. Comb through. Angels, here. Your hands can be symbolic of a lot of things, for giving to yourself, for giving to others. You can have people's energy blocking up your hands. Maybe they felt you weren't giving enough to them, or you were giving them things they didn't want. And so they could have like put a block around your hands energy wise. So just, imagine your hands and, so you could do it in front of the physical hands, or you could just imagine images of your hands out in front of you. And just imagine if, like there's a box or something around your hands, or some kind of a shackle or something around your wrist or something, and just loosen it up with gold light and give it to your angels. Loosen it up, give it to your angels. There's a lot of important meridians begin or end, mostly begin, I guess, in your fingers. So a whole nother reason that they're cool. So again, check for any devices or just dumped energy from others around your wrists and your fingers and your hands. Angels, here you go. Angels, here you go. And that big hand chakra right there in the palm of your hand. Unblock it and repair it. So chakras in general, they're a cylinder shape, but open cylinder. But in your hand, obviously, it's like it is, but the round opening is here, and then there's one here, so it's not a very big cylinder. It's like more of a wide cylinder than a long cylinder. Unblock them so they can generate a bunch of energy for you. Uncord, you could have people cording the back or the front of your hand chakras. So melt away cords from other people, way into your hand chakras. All right, good enough. So now, and if you set the hand chakra and the fingertip chakras to a metallic gold color, then that's the color that they generate. Even if you can't see colors, you can just do that with your thought or your intention, set them to gold. And now you can use your hands to comb through your grounding. And it is kind of like combing through your hair to find a tangle in your hair. You know, you just comb through your grounding and ball up all the junk and melt it away with gold light. So again, comb through your grounding, ball up all the junk, melt it away with gold light. Melt it away with gold. And if any of it is not melting properly, just you can wrap it up in gold light. Give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. Here you go. And then indie grounding is where you check the outer surface of your grounding all the way down and melt away if there are any cords going into your grounding. Melt them away with gold light. Cords or hard objects, melt them away. Or you can kind of pop them out, you know, and then just heal up the hole that the object had made. All right. Good enough. So that's grounding. Great job. That was grounding and a little bit of hand healing too. Wrist and hand healing. Because why not? So I'm just gonna, like, probably a lot today, just do things in an unusual order. So I'm not gonna do the 4 essentials right now, or 5 essentials. I'm gonna do CV and GV work now. So first I'll bounce back and forth between doing general work on both CV and GV meridians, and then specifically on the beginning and the end point of the CV meridian, and then, like, probably the way I'm looking at it, most people have it the most blocked. Other than the very beginning and the ending of the CV meridian, there's like a CV17, which is, it's funny when you read about it. Like, okay, how do you locate CV17? They'll be like, oh, it's level with the nipples. It's like obviously written by a man. Because for women, your nipples are all sorts of different heights depending on your boobies. So whatever. So for a man, it's level with the nipples. So maybe if you're feeling really perky, so we could say it's level with extra perky nipple. A perky nipple point. Anyway, I'm such a child. Okay, great. So your GV meridian, they both start in the crotch basically, and one goes up the midline in the back and ends in the roof of the mouth. That's GV, governing vessel meridian. It manages all your yang meridians, so like taking charge, self-assertiveness. And CV meridian, conception vessel meridian, starts in the crotch and goes straight up the midline of the front and ends in the tip of the tongue, roughly. So I noticed part of the benefit that people experience from the Friday healing was GV and CV work. Some people, I especially noticed like the CV meridian, the one that goes up the midline of the front that supports all the yin meridians, was like really sort of like a raisin, you know, very withdrawn and not enough energy being generated by it. And so that was improved with the Friday healing significantly. But we're gonna do more of that, like by working the very first point and the last point of the CV meridian, conception vessel meridian. So at the crotch and then all the way up. CV24. I get confused, honestly, about where CV24 is. I was reading about it. I think it's like right here, but then I think there's a point in there. So this might be CV23 and this might be CV24. But we'll work both of them together. But anyway, you don't have to know. The beauty of this stuff is you don't have to know exactly where they are, because you just, with your intention, you're like, okay, the first and the last point of the CV meridian, you know? So, and then CV17, like we said, I said, I'm gonna like forever call it the perky nipple point. Then a guy, you know, it's at the level of the nipples. It's also at the level of like the fourth vertebrae, but like seriously, like I'm supposed to like feel them, and then that's also complicated with breath. So whatever. But anyway, so imagine, you know, that it's like a big tube, red flowy tube. Well, it might not be red and flowy, it might be blackened and hard, but it's supposed to be in a healthy state. In its healthiest state, it would be red and flowy, a red and flowy tube, and your life force would flow upward, and that the ideal color would be red. So you can imagine your CV meridian, conception vessel meridian, starting in the crotch and ending, in the tip of the tongue, I guess. But the points that can be needled, you know, that might be one of the last ones right there, and then in there, I don't know. There we go. Okay. Okay, so I'm just gonna heal. Like, you can get restrictions. So you imagine the CV1, CV, the first CV1, the last CV1, and then CV17 too, I think is nice. The perky nipple point along the way there. And just like when you unblock the hips and the shoulders at the same time, and around the hips and the shoulders at the same time, you can notice blocks that you might not have noticed before, because there are a lot of key energy blocks that impact both places at the same time. I think that's the same concept with the CV1 and the CV24 and CV17. It's like if you look at all of them at once, you can notice certain restrictions around them that you wouldn't have maybe not have noticed before. So like, they can be like, look like hard black bands of energy, just like bam, 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 maybe 3 of them, you know, like squeezing in on the chakra. And sometimes you're like, okay, well, who made that hard band? And a lot of times the person who made it is also still cording that little device around them. But you can have a lot of people cording them. Like, there were some devices that I had that were like, say, from my birth father, but like everybody in my genetic family was cording them, like all the, you know, siblings and my birth mother as well. So whatever, you don't have to worry about who they're from. But anyway, just if you have any hard bands around them that are healthy, definitely your intention is healthy and gentle. You only want to remove what's healthy and gentle. But imagine the restrictive bands around CV1, CV24, and CV17, and melt cords going into those bands first from other people, from anybody, any beings, any people. And then check if there are any invasive beings that are really invested in these staying restricted, you know? So angels, if there are any invasive beings messing with these particular chakras, can you recycle them? And then it should be simpler to just run enough gold light through these hard restrictive bands that they kind of pop open and dissolve. And a couple deep breaths. So again, CV meridian manages the yin meridians, goes up the midline of the front, starts in the crotch, ends in the tip of the tongue. And you can imagine all the points of the CV meridian, I guess, but I think the worst restrictions are just going to be around the bottom and the top, and then maybe a couple key ones in between. But we could just single out CV17 for that. So CV1 and then CV24 and then a couple, or just CV17, let's say, and just melt away cords going into those restrictive bands wrapped around those chakras. And then angels, if there are any invasive beings in the way of this healing, can you please recycle them? And then just imagine the hard bands and just let the gold light kind of bust them open and dissolve them fully. I'm doing extra around CV17, the perky nipple point. This is what happens when you have an overly restrictive childhood. You become a really oddball adult. So the idea is we want to help your CV meridian to like break free of the restrictions on it. So again, melt cords going into these restrictive blocks. Angels, if there are any invasive beings that are connected to these restrictive blocks, can you please recycle them? And then just imagine them any simple way you want, like maybe clamps around the chakra itself, or yeah. And just like bust open the clamps. And you can even just drag off the clamps, give them to your angels. Angels, here you go. And I think we'll go back to doing more of that after some of the essentials. But I'm just going to do a teeny bit on GV meridian, the complement to that, the one that supports all the yang meridians. Starts in the crotch, goes all the way up the midline of the back, and hooks around to the roof of the mouth. Yeah, why not? So GV1, GV20 is favorite point on the GV meridian. And then GV, again, I'm kind of fuzzy on the ending of that. GV, whoops, 27 or 28. We could just work them both. So GV1, GV20 is in the top of the head, where the 7th chakra is. And then GV 27 and 28. It's like here and in there. But it ends in the roof of the mouth. So just the first point of the GV meridian, the last point of the GV meridian, and then GV20. And, you know, it's like spatially, there's a hook to it. Maybe, you know, I have a thing over there that is shaped like a hook, so maybe that'll help you imagine it. This is like a, you know, a back thing where you know, give yourself a back massage. But it's got a hook shape to it. Maybe that'll help. So, but this part should be but anyway. So like if this is the GV meridian, you know, as it goes around your head. So GV20 is right at the top, right? And so the energy's flowing upward and then it goes. Oh. This is one of those things where I have it and I don't use it enough, you know. We try to put it in like a really visually obvious place, so we're more likely to use it. Anyway, GV, so GV1 is all the way at the crotch. The GV20 is up at the top of the arc there, the top of your head. And red is a good color, of course, for all these acupuncture points and meridians. So first point and last point of GV meridian, governing vessel meridian, helps all your yang meridians. Just imagine any, just like we did with the CV meridian, you know, like say if this is one of the chakras, of course red is better as a color, but you know, a restricted block could be like a black band that's around it, you know, or a series of black bands around it. So just imagine some of those that are healthy and gentle to get rid of. And imagine the cords from other people going into those restricted bands and melt those with gold light. And then if there are any invasive beings messing with these chakras, angels, can you please recycle them? Then just use enough gold light that the bands pop off and off. Again, you can imagine more that are healthy and gentle to get rid of around the first point of the GV meridian and the last point of the GV meridian and GV20. Melt cords going into these restricted bands. Angels, if there are any beings in the way, can you recycle them? And then just lots of gold light. Bust open the band and melt it away. Couple deep breaths. A little bit, just GV and CV. You want them equally strong, but don't like weaken one, just strengthen the other. So they're both generating a lot of energy. They're both strong, flowing. GV1 and CV1, a little bit extra. All right, good job. Woohoo! So let's do our double confetti there. Hey. Excellent. All right. So that was a lot. We did first CV1, CV17, and then CV3 or 24, and then GV1, GV20 and GV27 and or 28. Okay, cool. But again, you don't have to memorize the numbers. Just do like, oh, you know what? Yeah, well, I think we'll go back and do more maybe today of GV and CV, but we'll see. So I'm going to do aura repair now. I have a funny order. But I'll check out grounding too. So quick check on the grounding. Looks good though. Most people. Just check at the bottom, see if it's blocked up at the bottom and melt it away. Melt the blocks. Okay, so auras. Your auras, you have 17 of them. They're all around you, in front of you, behind you, above you, below you. And home through a copy of all of them. Of course, your physical body and your astral body are inside those auras. And you want to check for leaks, rips, hard objects stuck in them. And you can just pop out the hard objects. Of those hard objects dissolve. You could locally, you know, find the rips and use so much gold light, wash them out, clean them up so they repair. Which I do like doing on myself. But if you don't trust your intuition about where the rips are, then composite copy technique is a good solution for that. And so that's what we'll do. You can repair all your rips at once. So that's convenient. So you just make an image of a rip, and with your intention, you have it represent all the rips that you actually do have in your 17 auras. And then you're going to clean it out and repair it. Therefore, cleaning out and repairing all your actual rips. Right? So just imagine your composite copy rip, and then fill it up with sticky gold wax, which is gold light from your hands that hardens and sticks to everything that's not you in the rip. So hard objects, other people's energy, whatever. Invasive beings. So just fill it up with sticky gold wax, lift out all the junk at once, like a big chunk. Angels, here you go. Again, sticky gold wax, fill it up, lift out all the junk at once with that wax. Angels, here you go. And then keep using gold light. Now that the rip's cleaned out, it should repair better. Use the gold light, especially deep into the rip. So rips in the aura probably are, I mean, certainly one of the biggest reasons why people can feel frazzled, fried, scattered, etc. So that probably repaired most of them, but we can do one more time for any leftover rips. So imagine a rip, an image of a rip that represents all your leftover rips in your auras, and let's repair that. So fill it up with sticky gold wax, lift out all the junk. Angels, here you go. Fill it up with sticky gold wax, lift out all the junk. Angels, here you go. And then use gold light to repair it. So it just starts growing back with enough gold light. All right, good job. So then just double check all the 17 auras, especially around that outer perimeter. You don't want any leaks. You might have little tiny leaks that you missed. So just use enough gold light to wash those out and repair them. You may have some leftover hard objects, so pop those out. with the gold light and use enough gold light that you repair the rips that are left over. Pop out the hard objects, repair the gashes left over. Couple deep breaths. Healthy beverage. You could have leftover patches of hardness, which you don't want to leave in your auras. So there could be like scarring on the outer surface of your auras or patches of hardness within your auras, which I call bruising. Be several layers of bruising. So just make copies of all the bruising and scarring out in front of you and melt it away with cold light. Couple deep breaths. Redo your gold buffer zones. Create them. I have an 18-minute video on gold buffer zones. You could watch that and learn how to make them. So let's do chakra repair of all your major and minor chakras at the same time. So you imagine one image that looks like a chakra, and you can have it represent all your major and minor chakras and repair that. As you repair that, you're repairing all your chakras. Melt away the cords going into the chakra. Only one I would suggest you keep is at the first chakra to your young kids, if you have kids younger than, like, say, 12. And you can drag out the energy blocks and melt them away with gold light from your hands. So it's like you just put your fingers through the image of the chakra and just drag out the junk and melt it away with gold light. And if it's not dissolving well enough, just hand it to your angels. Angels, here you go. Drag out the junk. Angels, here you go. Drag out your chakra. Melt it. Get out. Melt it. When your chakras are blocked, it is stressful. So since this healing is about de-stressing, let's you can lift out any blocks in your chakras that are stressing you out. Lift out the blocks. Melt them out the blocks, causing you stress. Melt them away. Blocks away. Melt cords. You might have hard objects. Angels, here you go. Angels, here you go. Repair the outer surface, the surface of the round opening. It should be like water. Like if you had a glass of water, the surface of the water there. But that should be like nice and flowy. But it can be like it can have hard objects stuck in it, a whole bunch of them, or it could have like hardened black energy blocks messing with it. So just drag that stuff out. Angels, here you go, including the hard objects. Angels, here you go, and then just keep healing it to bouncy water surface. And the chakras have flaps around the round openings. So this is somewhat how they would look if they're irritated. Wouldn't be gold, but the creative rings also have them and they are gold. So that's an image, like a downward view of the top creative ring if it's in an irritated state with the flaps stuck open, which would be from cords, other people sending energy in and it puffs it out, irritates it. But when the cords are gone and you heal enough, then the flaps fall shut. So it just looks like a ring, just looks like a smooth outer surface. The same thing with the chakras. So with your composite copy, be aware of, if the flaps are stuck out or if they're nice and flush. So if they're stuck out, they could have hard objects stuck in the flaps. So just pop out the hard objects, have those hard objects dissolve, melt the cords, pop out the hard objects, repair. Are there any invasive beings in the way? Angels, can you recycle them? I think that's enough for now with chakra repair and unblocking and working the flaps. Okay, so your creator rings are up here. 1, 2, 3, 3 gold rings. They come and go with your astral body energy system with you as a spirit. And they generate a lot of gold light if they're working properly. And that gold light is sent down towards your major chakras, which is really helpful. But if they're not working right, if they're damaged or being corded, then you're losing that energy. Kind of spurts out of you. So that's not good. So just imagine those 3 gold rings and melt any cords going into them and pop out any hard objects stuck in them. Hmm. And then GV20, like I said, if this is the GV Meridian, which is not an ideal. If this were straight up, then that would be Meridian, but it does hook around the top of the head like that. So, and the energy is flowing that way. So, towards the roof of the mouth. So, GV20 would be up here, right at the top. And then both your seventh chakras are in that same space, but they're oriented this way with the round opening at the top and the round opening at the bottom. You may have some restricted bands around your seventh chakras. You could melt those away. Melt any cords going into them. Melt the bands. Angels, if there are any invasive beings in the way of this work, can you please recycle them? Again, creative rings pop out any hard objects stuck in them. It could be like say if this is, you know, your creative ring, then the top one, the hard objects would be like wedged in through the open flap. I mean, it could just be bam, you know, in somewhere, just like a big causing a break. But they could also be smaller ones, like wedged in there in the flaps, well, in the opening by the flap. Pop out all those hard objects in all three rings. Angels, if there are any invasive beings in the way, can you please recycle them? And just let those flaps fall shut. Again, creative rings, seventh chakras, and GV20. I keep forgetting what I called it, which is like the story of my life. I'm really good at making terms, but I'm not good at remembering what I decided to call something. So, anyway, it feels like I called it stepping stone baggage, but I think I called it something else. But it's like, so if you imagine your creative rings and your seventh chakras and your GV20, like what baggage allows somebody to cord that baggage and then hop from there into this region? So stepping stone baggage. There may have been a better word for it that I had, but I don't remember it. Anyway, you imagine your creative rings, your seventh chakras, and your GV20, and are there baggage anywhere, you know, anywhere around here, like hard blocks of energy that allow beings or people to kind of get further into your space near the creative rings and seventh chakra and GV20? Hunt for any stepping stone baggage around. And that should take more of the pressure off of that area of your GV20 and creative rings and seventh chakras. All right, so enough of that. So we also did stepping stone. If someone can remind me what I called it. I don't know if I called it stepping stone baggage. Stepping stone for baggage. Okay. So then we'll do the fifth essential. Okay, so it's back here. You have triple frame windows, one in each aura layer of your astral body aura, behind the base of your skull and your neck. So like back here, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And each of those triple frame windows looks like it's the color of that aura layer. So it would be like rainbow, red, orange, yellow, green, light blue, deep purple. This is what a triple frame window looks like. That's what I mean. Although that's big. Anyway, just comb through all of those with gold light. Melt away the energy blocks around there. And it's okay if you don't have much conscious clairvoyance yet and you can't imagine all the little triple frame windows. Just comb through this area back here. You know, make a copy out in front of you. You know, here's your head. Comb through right there of your astral body. So here's your astral body and comb through back here. Melt away whatever's not you. And repair whatever is you with cold light. So you can have invasive beings and invasive people that work their energy through this area into your major chakras or into your base of skull acupuncture points back here. So we don't want that. So just imagine if there is energy sort of woven through this area, accessing the base of your skull or your major chakras along your spine, just freeze it and give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. So any energy that's not you, that's wrapped in there, just freeze it, take it out. Angels, here you go. And this is a big thing for de-stressing, also for focus. Because sometimes why you don't do a project is because it just, the moment you think about it, you're just too overwhelmed. So you're like, never doing that project, or not doing it this year, or not doing it today, right? So you want to be able to think of things without being sort of shut down mentally, right? So there could be energy weaving in, kind of shutting you down basically about certain things. So just lift it out. Angels, here you go. And the flow zone is in the same place location-wise, but it's in your physical body. So it's behind your physical head. But if you're present, then they're literally in the same place. But this is, your flow zone is that same location, but in your physical body aura. And also flow zone includes around the neck and in the neck. And so the top of the vertebrae there, the top of the spinal cord, right before it gets to your brain. So flow zone, you can have that significantly blocked. So just imagine any blocks there. With the flow zone, there's no like triple frame window stuff. It's just the aura layers of your physical body aura. Just make sure they're nice and flowy because it's really easy to get blocks here. Especially if there's a lot that you just cannot think about, you know, like somebody wrote in their survey, like, oh, I'm always like super resistant to working meridians. But, you know, if you're super resistant to certain things in your life, you know, like, oh, I just can't do that. I can't do this. Can't do this. Check back here. Because it's like dense energy back here. It just shuts your mind right off. Like, nope, can't do it. So just unblock there. So then you have a choice. You know, you totally could do it, but you still might decide not to, you know? And that way you keep your options open. So just break up any stuck energy in your flow zone. You have anybody in your flow zone? You could have invasive beings. You can also have invasive people in your flow zone, like parents. People that want you to communicate with them. Because the flow zone includes around the neck and in the neck. So you may have people that, yeah, maybe you're like me and you take forever to email people back or respond to video comments. So some people can get kind of invasive about that. So just melt away if you have other people's energy around your neck, in your neck. And unblock your flow zone. And base of skull points. I do love them so much. Love, love, love. So on the diagram, you look at the ears, the bottom of the ear and the top of the ear, and then you just like kind of imagine the area in between the top of the ears and the bottom of the ears. There's pretty much a line formed, 2 lines formed of those dots, which are acupuncture points or minor chakras within those meridians. And the GV one in the middle, it's got 3. It's got 2 at the bottom there. So anyway, you could just repair all those, unblock them. You don't want them to feel like tight and restricted. You want them to feel like red and flowy and ripply. So if they're too tight, just use so much gold light and pop out the hard objects stuck in them. Let them repair. Because they should all have this shape, like a open cylinder, right? Much smaller than this, of course. But you can expand the image that you're looking at so that you can see what's going on better. I was talking about those restrictive bands. You can have blocks that just, you know, block the flow, and that's a big deal. But you can also have, you know, hard bands around, you know, the chakra that restrict it. So I'm just going through these base of skull points to make sure that I pop, well, that to the extent that's healthy and gentle. Melt cords going to the restrictive bands. Angels, if there are any beings in the way of this healing, can you please melt cords from other people going into these bands and then melt the bands. Restrictive bands around your base of skull point chakras. Melt cords going into these little restrictive devices. Melt the devices. If you have damage to any of these meridians, you may feel it a little more after what we just did, but you didn't create the damage just now, but you feel it because you have better flow in the meridians, so you're more present there. So we could just quickly do head meridians, like we'll try to head ones that look so busy there. But we'll just quickly check for damage. pop out the hard objects and repair. Angels, if there are any beings in the way of this healing, could you please recycle them? So you're just healing to the extent that's healthy and gentle to do right now. I don't think we're quite done yet, but that was fun. I love that confetti. So, flow zone, good karma windows, base of skull points, and major chakras. You can have energy weaving through there that's not you, anchoring into your base of skull points or anchoring into your major chakras. So just find that stuff that's healthy and gentle to get rid of and unweave it. Give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. Angels, here you go. Angels, here you go. You can have stepping stone baggage, making it easier for people or beings to cord your base of skull points. So just behind the base of your skull and your auras, just look for hard plates of energy and melt them away. So like here are your base of skull points. So anywhere behind here, you could have plates of hard energy and people can cord those plates and then it's easy for them to leapfrog from there into your base of skull points. So we don't want that. So just melt away the plates of energy. Couple deep breaths. All right, so that is good enough for that. And you know, when you're healing yourself, give yourself permission to say, okay, good enough. You know, I think with this type of work, you can always do more. And so it's easy for people to kind of get neurotic and feel like, oh, I haven't done enough. You know, whatever, life is short, do what you can and move on. You know, this healing is not a good example of that because I'm doing a really in-depth healing, but keep in mind, I get paid to do a really in-depth healing. So, you know, and then I rest up the whole rest of the month. First, I'm healing 131 people, but you know what I'm saying? Like, do what you want. Use your intuition. Do what level that suits you on that given day at that given moment. Because otherwise, you might save it up and never do it. You know, save it for some special sacred day. And then it does you no good at all. Ooh. I'm just going to look for a second and figure out what we're doing next. Okay, so I mentioned this briefly at some point, I hope in the overview section. I think so. As I said, I went to Destress today with this healing. wanted to help people de-stress. And part of that, I want to help people clear conflict, obsessions, fixations. Sometimes, you know, you think you're in a conflict, but you're also being obsessive or you're fixated. But you don't see it that way. You just see it as a conflict. And, you know, Betty Boop is just such an asshole. And if she wasn't such a bitch, then you'd be fine, right? You know, you don't have a problem. You're not obsessing, right? But so I'm going to also say we're clearing conflict because everybody can identify, okay, I have a conflict with this person, or, you know, a more conflict situation with this person, right? But we want to do what we can so that you're safer and less invested in the conflict, really. You're more able to just move forward and, you know, with your positive change. So it's not like sort of anchoring you towards a lot of baggage and stuck stuff, right? So, so you may have an obsession that is associated with a person. You may not, but first we'll do it with a person. So like say you have a conflict with a group of people or you have a conflict with a particular person. And if you don't know who, you just imagine random, okay, these are my conflict people. Okay. Because you could have a conflict that you've forgotten all about, but on a spirit level, it's still ongoing, like with a former client, a former friend, a former, you know, partner, whatever, right? So just imagine yourself and then your conflict people, right? But don't do anything to them. That's always a good policy. Karma is real. Don't harm people. But anyway, so first of all, melt cords between you and your conflict people, right? So don't send gold light towards them, just around your aura and in your aura, just melt away all the cords between you and your conflict people. And melt the baggage. This is important. Melt the baggage that your conflict people are anchored into. Baggage of yours within your space that the conflict people are courting. So you can make big piles out in front of you. What are your conflict people courting within your space? And again, this could be 100% subconscious, you know, like a client that you had 10 years ago that is still obsessed with hating you, but you've completely forgotten about them. You know, it still works. You can still do it, right? So just imagine any baggage that any conflict people are courting within your space and just melt the baggage. Right? Because people can't press your buttons. If you melt them away, there are no buttons to press anymore. Right? So just melt away the baggage that your conflict people are courting. And go ahead, put more baggage out in front of you that your conflict people are courting and just melt it away. Okay, and now again, imagine you and the conflict people. And I know that we've already melted cords between you and them, but go ahead and imagine if you still have any cords that you're hooked into their baggage. Like maybe they have betrayal baggage, right? And so they think that you betrayed them, but you're like, I haven't done anything. You're totally, this is in your head, you know, get over yourself, right? You could be accidentally courting their betrayal baggage, right? Because you're trying to snap them out of it and it's not, of course, not working, right? So just imagine you and your conflict people, are you courting any of their baggage? And just notice those cords, maybe you missed them, and just remind yourself, hey, I need to let go. I need to have boundaries. I can't cord this stuff. I gotta just melt the cords. Gotta let go. Gotta let go. Okay, and then part of you can be, and again, it can be a subconscious part of you. It could be a part of you from a past life that's stuck in the past, you know, so you don't really have to worry about it, but just imagine the little parts of you that are stuck in this conflict or this obsession or this fixation. The little mini yous that are kind of stuck and obsessed and stuck in the conflict, letting the conflict bother you. right? So imagine those mini versions of you, and then you're going to give these parts of you a healing, right? So just bring up red earth energy, give them a nice red earth energy soak, bring that down, bring up yellow earth energy, bring up orange earth energy, nice soak, gold light. Say hi, it's okay, you deserve a healing. Feel all these little versions of you that are stuck in obsession or fixation or conflict. And just say, hey, it's all right. We don't have to think about whose fault it is. You just deserve a healing. So here's a healing. You can make energy healing flowers for these parts of you stuck in obsession or fixation or conflict, right? So just a lot of energy healing flowers. Say, angels, can you check my flowers? And then give bunches of them to these parts of you stuck in conflict or obsession or fixation. And part of why, like you can be kind of a broken record, stuck in a negative pattern, right? Where in a whole bunch of different lifetimes, you have a very similar conflict that you experience over and over again with different people, but it's the same energy over and over. It's playing out over and over, right? So look for just put it out in front of you, we'll call it your broken record baggage, right? So put out in front of you your broken record baggage that draws you into conflict, obsession, or fixation, right? And just melt that baggage. And it could be about totally surprising things that you don't know consciously, but then later, you improve in a certain way and you're like, whoa. So don't worry about what it could be. I mean, if you're intuitive, you could think about it, but don't let it stress you out if you don't know what your broken record baggage is that draws you into conflict, obsession, and fixation. Just, again, put a pile out in front of you that what's healthy and gentle to clear. And we'll ask angels too, so you don't have to worry, right? Put out in front of you all your baggage, broken record baggage that draws you into conflict, obsession, or fixation situations. Say, angels, is it okay to clear all this? Your angels will be like, please, go for it, please. Just, if there are any invasive beings in the way, angels, can you recycle them? Yeah, just go ahead and melt this stuff away. Sometimes, maybe often, the conflict or the obsession or the fixation is serving a purpose to distract you from something that's more important, more beneficial to you, more foundational, more nourishing for you. And instead of getting that nourishment, that fulfillment, that boost, that uplifting influence, you're being sidetracked by the conflict, the obsession, the fixation, right? So obviously we don't want that, right? So, but sometimes there is a level of what do I want to call it? It's like a blindness. I mean, I don't want to call it denial because a lot of times people have this negative association with denial. Like, I'm not in denial. What do you mean? Like as if they did something wrong if they have denial, So it's, to be maybe more precise, there's like a blindness where it's like a curtain in front of you and you just can't see a situation clearly. And if you would, you could. Like, you really want clarity, maybe, but you just can't see it, right? So let's lift the curtain, right? Let's lift the curtain of your blindness to the extent that's healthy and gentle to do at this time, right? So we want you to realize things, but things that are purely good for you, you know, not something that's like going to freak you out. It's too much information, blah, blah, blah. You know, you're not ready for it. There's generally a lot that would super help you to realize, and it's like crazy good for you and nourishing and safe and whatever, you know, and you've been ready for it for like 5 years, you know. So that's the kind of stuff that we want to clear right now. Okay, so the curtain of blindness, your blindness curtain, right? So imagine you and imagine your blindness curtain around you, which is probably in your 6th layer, right, all around you, maybe 6th and 7th layer. 7th is knowingness and intuition, and then 6th is vision, clairvoyance, and seeing. That is probably where it is. But imagine your curtain of blindness that is totally healthy and gentle to get rid of. And it could look like gray or black and heavy. Usually it's heavy or smoky or both. And just kind of freeze it up, like turn it into a big ice thing, and just lift it out and give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. So let's do that again, in case there's more that is healthy and gentle for you to do right now. So imagine a healthy and gentle to get rid of curtain of blindness around you that distracts you and sidetracks you into these conflicts and obsessions and fixations. So imagine the curtain of blindness that's healthy and gentle to get rid of. And angels, if there are any invasive beings perpetuating this situation, can you please recycle them? Couple deep breaths. And then just go ahead and, you know, wrap this curtain of blindness up in a lot of gold light so you can easily lift it off like a dome. Angels, here you go. And you can imagine, like imagine you on your spiritual path. And then you can imagine like the road that you're on, you know, your literal spiritual path. And just imagine like the area of your road that represents you having this fixation or this obsession or this conflict situation. And just see like how much of the road is it on? Like, is it on a lot of the road ahead of you, or are you about to walk beyond it just now? And maybe melt a bunch of baggage so that that conflict can be behind you. Like you don't have to have another year of that conflict or another couple weeks or whatever. Just clear enough baggage. Imagine piles of baggage. Just keep melting it so that you can step beyond. You can evolve beyond this obsession, this fixation, this conflict. Again, keep melting baggage. Take your time, because it could be baggage from several lifetimes. Melt little piles of baggage so that you're ready to move beyond this obsession, this fixation, this conflict, whether it's conscious or subconscious. And then if you have people associated with this conflict or obsession or fixation, wash them out of your space. And you don't have to know who they are, right? So just comb through your whole space, all your auras, all your chakras, your physical body, your astral body, both your groundings. Just wash everybody out associated with any fixations you have, any obsessions, any conflicts. Just wash those people out of your space. And then call your unique life force back from those people, because accidentally or on purpose, in a less enlightened moment, you may have thrown some of your energy towards that person or those people, right? Maybe you meant well, you thought you were trying to calm them down or something, right? So call your unique life force back from anybody else, especially in relation to this conflict, obsession, fixation stuff, these negative patterns, right? So just make a big gold 3D object, whatever one you prefer, like a gold cube or gold sphere, gold pyramid, whatever you like, right? Use it like a magnet and call back your unique life force from any of these obsession, fixation, conflict people, whoever they are. You don't have to know. All your energy back. I like having the magnet get bigger the more of your energy you call back. And then just say, angels, can you clean off all this energy? Just in case the gold object didn't do it all. And then give it back to yourself. One more time, call back your energy from all those people from present or past life conflicts. And then, angels, can you clean off all this energy? Give it to yourself. And fourth chakra is in the center of your chest. And when it works well, it feels so good. But when it's stuck, it feels so bad. It's like such an extreme. So go out and pile out in front of you, whether it's on a gold blanket or just in piles, any heart chakra baggage that's related to these obsessive fixation conflict situations. And again, they could be subconscious ones that you don't know about consciously, but just any fourth chakra baggage related to obsessive situations, fixations, conflict. And then just say, angels, is it okay to clear all this? And then whatever's still there is okay to clear, healthy and gentle. So just melt it all away with gold light or blow it up. That's fun too. And if any of it's left over that's not clearing, just say, angels, can you help me with this? And hand it to your angels. All right, good job. So we did a lot there. So I'm going to look at what's next. Okay, so we're working. We are working in this month, we're working traditional Chinese medicine meridians, which are located in the physical body. They help everything, mind, body, and spirit, psychology, you name it. But I was looking at a sample person just now, and she's somebody's sister. Her sister is my conscious client, and her sister gets her these healings. She says yes on a spirit level, but I'm not sure she knows about them consciously. In sense, telepathically to get the healings. And anyway, it's like her parents, both of them, own the keys to her body chakras, all her body chakras. 7 major physical body chakras, as well as all the acupuncture point chakras of the meridians. So that's a problem, because she's a grown woman. Her parents are just overly restrictive and judgmental and rigid and very hierarchical and, kind of verbally abusive, basically. But it's like they have these keys. It's like keys to your house. Who has keys to your house? But in the real physical world, your house, you and your partner have house keys, right? And that's okay, right? Because it's their house too. But your body is just your house, right? And so really nobody should have keys to your house. In that, if keys represent the ability to like shut down any chakra at any time, that should just be you, right? And obviously you're not going to want to shut down your chakras. But, in more hierarchical, oppressive relationships, that can happen. And you may have that in this life with a sibling, with an ex, with a partner, with a parent, or you may have only had it in past lives, but that agreement still impacts you. So we're going to look for any of those agreements and we're going to clear them. So I could also call it like, clear oppression agreements. But I just, when I was looking at this sample person, like this makes more sense to her as a spirit is, making sure her parents don't have the keys to her physical body. And, when a kid is young, like 2, 3, 4 years old, they probably shouldn't have the keys anyway. Like keys, that's kind of a big deal. But, maybe there would be the first chakra cord, at those ages. But still having the keys, it's very much like an oppressive, like I own your soul kind of over the top agreement. So, but like I said, you may have had past lives. If you had, nice, friendly parents in this life, maybe in a past life, you had those kind of parents. Probably you did. I mean, because that's the way lives work. You need variety to learn as much as you can. So, anyway, let's do it. Let's just take back the keys to your physical body. Clear those agreements. Sorry, I'm a little impaired here. Okay. Okay, so just imagine you and imagine anybody, maybe from a past life or from this life, who has the keys to your physical body in that kind of oppressive way, oppressive, extreme access way. And just, you can imagine the agreements like pieces of paper. You can also imagine keys with the pieces of paper and just melt the keys and melt the pieces of paper. So nobody has an oppression agreement with your body, your physical body. And you can say, angels, help me do this. And you can say, angels, help me do this safely. If I need protection for the next couple weeks extra between me and this person, I'm asking for it. Okay, angels? You always want to be specific and ask your angels if you need extra protection, because there can be invasive beings that pretend to protect you, but they're really just nasty invasive beings. So, you know, it's okay to ask for protection, but be specific who you're asking. Ask your angels. Angels, I would like extra help, you know, being safe with these people. Right? So again, you imagine yourself, imagine anybody you currently have oppressive sort of dominance agreements with as it comes to when it comes to your physical body, and just imagine the agreements and the angels help me do this, and just melt away the agreements, melt away the keys representing the oppression agreements. And if there are any invasive beings really invested in this stuff, continuing the drama, just imagine those invasive beings. Say, angels, can you recycle these beings? And keep breathing. Again, let's double check. Imagine yourself. Imagine any of the people that had keys to your physical body in that sort of oppressive, dominant kind of way. And then just imagine if there are still any agreements left that support those oppression, dominance sort of things. And imagine the keys, if you wish, you know, that represent the agreements. So melt the agreements, melt the keys. And you can say, you know, angels, if I need extra protection between me and those people, can you please help me with that? Good job. Okay. Okay, so you could be stressed out. I said in the intro, you know, as you get more present, you can feel things that before you were numb to, that were in your space all along, but you know, now it's just like it feels worse. And so let's just clear that stuff, right? So that you don't have to numb out and tune out and complicate your life to avoid that stuff, right? So there can be blocks that just are so unpleasant, but they're in your auras. And if we can just melt them, for Christ's sakes, it would be easier. So let's do it. Okay. Oh, the doing. All right. So, and that typically those blocks are in the front already because they're triggered, maybe above or in front, typically in your auras. Not always, but let's do those. So, just imagine, you don't have to imagine the exact aura layer that they're in, but just imagine a bunch of blocks that are healthy and gentle to clear. Bring up red earth energy. Soak them in the red earth energy. Melt cords going into them, because usually there's a lot of people cording them. So these blocks that will help you to de-stress if you clear them, melt the cords. And angels, if there are any invasive beings in the way of me clearing these, can you please recycle them? And then go ahead and melt these blocks. You might have to do them one at a time. That's fine. So let's do more of that. Imagine yourself, maybe like a profile, look for just giant honking things that just are like making your life seem way harder than it needs to be. Just energy blocks in the front there. And bring up red earth energy, soak them in red earth energy. Melt cords going into them from other people. And just angels, if there are any invasive beings at all near or connected to these energy blocks, can you please recycle them? And they go ahead and blow up the blocks or melt them with gold light. And there could be some that are kind of big, but you can say, angels, is it okay to clear these? And then just keep melting them with lots of gold light. A couple deep breaths. Okay, so we did this 2 healings ago in the twin set of May, healing 2 of 2, the final healing in May. We did mind gardens, and I may not have called them that at the moment, but that's what I like now. But you imagine 2 gardens, one for your conscious mind, one for your subconscious mind, and have them be connected, because you do want flow of information to the extent that's healthy and gentle between your subconscious and your conscious mind. And so go ahead and heal your mind gardens. Lots of gold light. Anything that doesn't feel right in your mind, just, melt it away with gold light. And I had wanted to clear mind looping, but I think maybe that might work as a concept, but it also might work to just find the most overwhelming parts of your mind, each mind garden that is still healthy and gentle to clear. So it could look like a little tornado in one of your gardens, or just like a big pile, a heap of junk in one of your gardens. But just find any tornadoes. Usually the tornadoes are just invasive beings. So just, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings causing these tornadoes? And you occasionally could have a tornado caused by a really wound up person. So if that's the case, just use lots of gold light till they pop out of your mind garden. Get out of your head. Don't yell at them though, that just makes it worse. Just wash them out till they pop out. But if you have like an overwhelming situation, find the part of your mind garden that relates to that. And just say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings in this area? And then just keep using gold light and melt away all the junk from that area. Again, if you have a situation where you're, I don't know, any situation that stresses you, find an area of your mind garden that relates to it most, in your subconscious or your conscious mind garden, or in the connection in between. And just feel that part of the garden that will help the situation that you have in mind. And think of a specific situation. Or you don't have to know the situation, but just what part of your mind garden would be the best, of your mind gardens would be the best for you to work on right now. And say, angels, if there are any invasive beings in this area, can you please recycle them? And wash out the people. Melt away the junk. You can bring up earth energy, whatever rainbow color you want, into your mind gardens. Could be blue earth energy if you want, because blue is a nice color for the mind. But if you want another rainbow color, that's fine. So one of the things in life is you can't really control the people around you, or it's bad karma to do so, right? But sometimes you have somebody that's really important in your life, and you know what, if they do something or don't do something or say something or don't say something, it can affect you a lot, right? But you want to ideally be kind of zen about it, you know, and be very like cool with their free will, and you want to just, you know, be aligned with your higher self and really evolve with it so that you don't become a controlling crazy person, right? And you can just, you know, live a happier, healthier life, you know, because otherwise it can really stress you, you know, if, you know, you have hangups about what other people are doing or not doing or saying or not saying, right? So find a part in your mind garden that you can heal and nourish that will better allow you to kind of just be evolved with the people in your life. You know, have a more evolved perspective about the people in your life. So just find the part of your mind garden that would help most with that and just heal it. Just say, angels, if there are any invasive beings in this area, can you please recycle them? Okay, so let's do a little more of that. Like I said, you know, people that you care about or that are close to you, their behaviors, their actions can affect you very profoundly, but you can heal and strengthen to the point where you're really, you know, very flowing and present and you're okay, right? So what do you need to heal with your mind gardens so that you're okay? You have more peace, you have more tranquility, more strength, more vitality, more youthfulness, more innocence, all the good things, what sense of wonder, right? So what part of your mind gardens do you need to heal so that you're more evolved in relation to the people around you, and it doesn't rain on your parade, kind of, you know, whatever they do or don't do. Find that part of your mind garden and heal it. And angels, if there are any invasive beings in this area, can you please recycle them? And if there's any junk in this area, just melt it away. So we can do flower healing for your mind gardens. I mean, you could just, as you run gold light through, imagine flowers in there that you want. But you can also, you know, do flower healing like this is a standard way where you just make energy healing flowers out of universal healing energy, gold light or rainbow colors, and have it be the exact vibration that would nourish your mind, conscious and subconscious, and nourish the connection between them and just help you to de-stress, right? So de-stress, energy healing flowers, right? So angels, can you check my flowers? And then go ahead and give those energy healing flowers, those de-stress energy healing flowers to your mind gardens. Okay, we'll do that 2 more times because why not? So more de-stress flowers energy healing for your minds to help you de-stress. Say, angels, can you check my flowers? And give them to your mind gardens. And one more time, make a lot of energy healing flowers, just the right vibration to help you de-stress, help your minds de-stress. And say, angels, can you check my flowers? And give them to your mind gardens. All right, and you can get rid of that imagery since it's, you know, it was just a way to heal your mind. You don't need an image of a garden in front of you, or you can hand it to your angels if you don't like destroying that. Fine too. The angels, here you go. Okie doke. So let's wrap up. I think that's a good blend of stuff that we did. So just imagine all your 17 auras and your physical body and your astral body are inside there. Check all your major chakras along your spine. Check that they're aligned. You could be a couple are knocked out of alignment, so just use gold light so that they pop back into place. Your Kundalini chakra is below your physical body first chakra. You can especially repair that. Unblock it. Kundalini is a nice energy. It could be sexual. If it's run if it's generating a lot of energy, it tends to feel more sexual. But if it's just a little bit, you're running it kind of at low, then it could just be a peppiness or a charisma. And for kids, it's, you know, like if the kid's 3 or 4, it's just a little pep for them. Sometimes if it's really rev, then they never want to go to sleep, you know. So it's good to heal it and unblock it and just let it calm down. Not make it calm down, but, you know, like sometimes if there's cords and damage, it'll just over rev, right? So just let it be at its natural, whatever it wants, whatever you want it at naturally. And melt away all the hard chunks, all the blocks, all the cords. There's no good reason for anybody to cord your Kundalini chakra. I mean, well, during sex there would be. Yeah. Okay, I take that back. There are good reasons. But, you know, like if it's somebody that you don't feel that way about, you wouldn't want that. So melt away the cords that you want to melt away from your Kundalini chakra. I have a whole Kundalini playlist. I'll link that below in case you want to do any of those videos. They're fun. Oh, you know what? Let's do yeah, you could just do bottle brush for the first chakra and the Kundalini chakra. Bottle brush technique is, you know, gold bottle brush. You clean it out. It's really cool. But we could do it for all the major chakras. So imagine your 7th chakras, because they're oriented this way. And then 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 are oriented this way. In addition to Kundalini chakras oriented this way. You know, front to back. But Kundalini chakras like this. So we'll do bottle brush on your 7th chakras. Clean them out. Get rid of all the blocks inside to the extent that's healthy and gentle. And give those yucky bottle brushes to your angels. Angels, here you go. One more time. Gold bottle brush your 7th chakras. Inside and outside. Getting rid of what's healthy and gentle to get rid of. Angels, here you go. And then we'll do 6 through K, 6 down through 1, and Kundalini chakra of the physical body all at once. So just imagine a whole bunch of bottle brushes, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and K. And just all at once, get them out. Angels, here you go. New bottle brushes, new gold bottle brushes. Nice and gentle for the chakras, but good for cleaning out. Get rid of them. Angels, here you go. One more set of gold bottle brushes all around the outside of these chakras. Angels, here you go. New set of bottle brushes in there. Get rid of the junk. Angels, here you go. A little extra on the first chakras, unblocking them. You can have those restrictive bands around, say, 2, 1, and Kundalini maybe. So like if this is the chakra, it might be clamped around like that. So just look for any restrictive bands around 2, 1, and K. K meaning Kundalini chakra of the physical body. And just melt cords going into these restrictive bands. Angels, if there are any invasive beings connected to these bands, can you recycle them? And then just pop them off and melt them away. And then just adjust the chakras so they relax now that you've cleared off some of the restrictive bands. And there's a protective force field of gold around all your major chakras. So you can just strengthen that extra with more gold light. Unblock your grounding one more time. You can change the color of it. Just test which color helps you release the most right now. Red groundings, orange groundings, yellow groundings. And leave it at the color you like most for releasing right now. Indie grounding, melt away any connections going into your grounding from other people. Redo your gold buffer zones. Angels, can you help me with my meridians? And can you give me a healing? All right, good job. You're amazing. Woo, woo, woo. That was a healing. Yay, you're a rock star. Woo. Some confetti. I do like that though. But I like the confetti even more. I could show the water while I'm checking comments. How about that? So if you have any comments, brief comments about how you're doing after the healing, how the healing was for you, about the theme of traditional Chinese medicine meridians, or any of the ways that we worked on it today. We did a whole bunch of variety of stuff. Feel free to chat, comment it now. Of course, you can always comment later under the video. And I will be sending out, late tonight, I'll send out a post-healing survey link to the 131 people I healed. So if you could make time, just a minute or two tomorrow on Monday to let me know how you're doing. I can study results and plan the Tuesday healing, final healing of this set. Alrighty, let's see, looking at chat comments that I missed. Hello from the border of Wisconsin and Illinois. Well, that's very precise. Thank you so much. 70s and sunny. That sounds very nice. Someone says, I've heard it all now, LOL. You probably are talking about the perky nipple, the perky nipple acupuncture point. Maybe. I don't know if that's what you're referring to. Someone says, Evergreen, my favorite place in the world. Someone says, thank you. Someone says, appreciate your collection of objects for demonstration. Yeah. Yeah, maybe I should use this while I read comments, right? I don't use it enough. Someone says, thank you, Janet. You're welcome. Someone says, Janet, how to work open gestalts stories with unfinished business, because it also creates obsession and discomfort. Open yeah, I'm not, give me an example, either in a survey or underneath the video of like a specific example. Because other than what we've already done, nothing comes to mind. So the word gestalt isn't really familiar to me. I mean, I've heard it before, but I don't remember what it means. So sorry about that. Someone says, I still feel low and it's hard to get out of bed today. I still feel low. You know, I'm wondering if you just typed that, or because some of these comments got saved up from like halfway through the healing. So if you could, if you're still listening, if you could chat again about how you're feeling right now. Let's see. Your Kundalini chakra is off, like it's not generating any energy. So you could turn that on, and that could send a little peppiness up your spine, like a little red Kundalini energy up your spine. You could imagine that. You know, so get your Kundalini chakra spinning below your first chakra. Because we unblocked it and repaired it and uncorded people from it, but I didn't turn it on for people or, you know, turn it down or up or anything, because that's, you know, some people I'm healing are asleep, and so I don't want to turn on their Kundalini chakra. That would wake them up. So, you know, you would have to turn it on yourself. So, but yeah, it looks like your Kundalini chakra is like completely off. So that's not going to help with, you know, getting out of bed and having some motivation. Your third's a little blocked, but I think it's more that your Kundalini chakra's off. And your fourth is a little blocked. But yeah, if you turn your Kundalini chakra on, get that red flowing up your spine, it'll help wake up your chakras. All right, someone says, thank you, Janet. Feeling calm and tired. Took a short nap at the start of the healing. Was feeling shame and guilt until the mind garden part. Yeah, the mind garden rocks. I'm glad you like it. Feeling calm and tired. Yeah, your Kundalini chakra is off too. So you could turn that on and pep up a little. Everything looks good. You just, it's like, it looks like you are about to fall asleep, you know? So, yeah, maybe you could maybe unblock the filaments between your astral body 7 chakras and your physical body 7 chakras, the cords, your cords connecting your astral and physical major chakras. Maybe unblock those and just get those flowing. And so your spirit can pep up your body, and your body can pep up your spirit. Someone says, so happy, Janet. Got this healing for my daughter. Yes, I'm happy to work with her. Yeah, and thank you for your survey feedback on her. Someone says, thank you, Janet. I didn't get to watch it live, but I feel pretty good. I am just a little blocked about what I should do next. I don't feel like cleaning, which seems to be the default option. Yeah, well, your angels are talking about music. So maybe music will get you going and then you'll figure it out. Someone says, I purchased this healing for my daughter. Yes, she's feeling calm and I see such a difference in her confidence and clarity. Yeah, she is really rocking these healings. Nice to be able to work with her. such a key age, you know. I wish I had healings at her age. Boy, do I wish I had healings at her age. Oh, someone gave me an update. Thank you. Still not feeling so good. Okay, I'll work on Kundalini. Yeah, turn it on. Yeah, nothing major is damaged. It's just things are kind of run down. You know what's a nice one too, maybe? In addition to Kundalini, there's a video, it's only 7 minutes. If you search Janet Wright sticky wax 7 chakras, the number 7. So I'll type it out. You should be able to find it. But that's a nice, I mean, you probably don't need a walkthrough. You could just do it without the video, but you know, just imagine all your major chakras and sticky gold wax and all the blocks and just move out. You know, you can whoosh, get the wax off that way and then give it to your angels, or you have the wax, sticky gold wax stick to all the blocks in your major chakras, and you can just move out the wax and the junk, give it to your angels. You know, that's like a nice fast unblocking of chakras. Yeah. Okay. Now that I'm thinking about it too, the 2 of the people that said they were more low energy at the moment are releasing a lot. So the waterfall image, I guess, is very appropriate. But you're releasing a lot right now, so that could be part of it too, that sometimes you're releasing so much that it's like you're just kind of in a more mellow state at the moment. You could imagine your spiritual path and just see if there are any obstacles in front of you in your spiritual path and just melt them away. Because sometimes if you don't have like a nice free runway forward on your spiritual path ahead of you, you just have obstacles, then it's very demotivating. So you could just melt away if you see any walls ahead of you on your path, or you could just imagine, you know, any unhealthy obstacles on your path and just melt them away so that you can go forward. All right, cool. You guys are amazing. Congratulations for even letting your angels heal you or thinking about healing. And if you have 0 motivation, you could say, angels, can you help me on whatever she did that I need? Busy. My dog Izzy, he'll cough, but it's because he's lying in a funny position. And if he got up, he would stop coughing, but he doesn't get up. He just lies there and keeps coughing. But anyway, speaking of which, we'll do an Izzy cam. And some more confetti. Oh, Smokey's there too, but I woke him up last time. We'll let him sleep this. But so there's Smokey's right over there. He's that black lump on the pillow. You can see him, but that's him. This is looking really cute. And coughing. All right. You guys are amazing. I hope you have a great morning, evening, afternoon, whatever's next for you. And the next healing in the set will be in 2 days on Tuesday. So you're amazing. Take care. Bye. Oh, and at some point I'll have new glasses. I don't have them yet.